welcome to Weather Geeks. We are live in New Orleans, Louisiana at the American Meteorological Society. And look, I've got a live audience again. We did this last year. Give us some love. Come on out there. We are here with Dr. Michael Freilich, who's the head of the director of the Earth Sciences Division at NASA, a place that I'm very familiar with as a former NASA scientist. He's a very well-known scientist and colleague in the field. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks very much for having me.
Yeah, so I was at NASA for quite a long time, and people thought I worked as a space shuttle forecaster. They think we all know all the astronauts. NASA actually has a very wide range of responsibilities, including Earth Sciences. So tell us a little bit about the responsibilities there.
That's true, Marshall. The vantage point of space really has revolutionized our view of the planet by putting many different instruments on satellites. We can make measurements over the entire globe, but at high spatial resolution for long periods of time, but frequently at every point. So we really can understand using satellite measurements the Earth as an integrated system, and that's really what we're trying to do in the NASA Earth Science Division.
Yeah, and I think, for example, the current El Nino that we're in is a perfect example of how NASA's observations are well suited, because it involves ocean processes, teleconnections to atmospheric patterns. But what would you say to those comments that say, well, NASA really should just be focusing its time on space?
We as a nation and we as an agency are bigger than just having to focus on one thing. What we learn about the Earth in the NASA Earth Science program actually can help to improve the lives of every single inhabitant on this planet. And what we learn about Earth and its processes from living on this planet and studying it can actually be applied to our exploration of other worlds, lands, whatever, as we look outward in space.
Can you give the audience, because some of the folks out there may not, they may hear that, but what is an example? I know you have several that would come to mind of an Earth Sciences process that NASA's involvement is changing the way we look at that process or advancing society in some way? I'm sure there are many, but is there one favorite one that you would like to talk about?
I'll talk about sea level rise.
Okay.
There is no question that the sea level is rising in a global mean sense. Our environment is changing. From the precision measurements that we have been making since 1992 from space, we know with precision that sea level is increasing by about 3 millimeters per year, and we know why it's increasing, both because we are taking water that was on land in ice sheets and glaciers and adding it to the ocean, and also because we are changing the temperature of the ocean and the water is expanding in the ocean. We are making measurements independently of sea level and the mass of water in the ocean, which allows us to not only observe what's going on, but to understand why it's going on.
Yeah, and we're sitting here in a city where I have to walk up to the river. And so certainly as we think about sea level rise, I was talking to a colleague, they were walking in the Garden District 3 feet above sea level. They said, I might not be able to do that in a few decades. But let's get back to, because so you can make the case for why we need to study the Earth from space, and I think you have a very good case. There were rumors that budgets were going to be cut in geosciences and Earth sciences across the board. How did NASA's Earth Sciences budget fare over the last year or so?
In the fiscal year 16 appropriation, Congress and the President recognized the tremendous work that we at NASA and the research community have been doing. We actually ended up with a budget increase of nearly 9% over last year's appropriated budget. So there was a lot of talk during the appropriation process about budget levels, but Congress and the President got together and we got basically within 1% of what the President requested for us.
Well, and that's a no-brainer because we only have one planet. We don't have a vacation planet to go through once we ruin this one, so I think that makes sense that we study the Earth. Now let's kind of we're here at the American Meteorological Society meeting. We've got NASA, we've got NOAA, the National Weather Service. Tell us a little bit about how NASA Earth Sciences plugs into to or works with some of the more operational weather-focused agencies like the National Weather Service and NOAA?
We work very, very closely with NOAA in a number of different ways. And they're mutually beneficial, the two agencies. NASA, because of our expertise in space and developing satellite missions, acts as the implementing arm of NOAA for the nation's weather satellites. So we design them with NOAA's needs in mind. We build them and we launch them, all with NOAA money, and then NOAA operates them. All of our research, Earth science research satellites, virtually all of them, provide measurements in near real time. So we make those measurements available to NOAA. So the operational side of NOAA is actually utilizing measurements from research satellites to improve the quality of the forecast.
And I can give an example of that as someone that has worked on the TRIM and GPM missions. I know that the Hurricane Center and others use data from this satellite when the hurricanes and tropical cyclones are too far for the aircraft to get out to. So there we have a clear example of that. You deal with, I mean, I've been at NASA headquarters. You get called to the White House, Congress. What's a typical day like for the Director of Earth Sciences at NASA?
I'm not sure that we actually have typical days. Every single day is atypical, but we have a very broad scope in Earth Sciences. So I am coordinating the headquarters staff. We are coordinating with the actual people who are doing work inside NASA in the centers.
And let me stop you there, and I'll let you pick that up after the break, because when we come back, I want to finish that thought, and then we want to see how NASA actually, what are some of the tools it uses to help advance our knowledge of Earth. We'll be right back, but first, our Geek of the Week.
This week's Geek of the Week is Dr. Dan Cecil, research physical scientist at the NASA Marshall Space Flight Center. His favorite type of weather is thunderstorms, but guess what? He also studies hurricanes and is responsible for the Hurricane Imaging Radiometer, which maps the surface wind flow in hurricanes. When weather's not on Dan's mind, he enjoys playing and listening to bluegrass music. And someday, he aspires to write a bluegrass tune called Vortex Breakdown. Who would not buy that? Congratulations to Dr. Dan Cecil, our Geek of the Week!
There's people who care where I'm going, and good friends who welcome me home. So get a full tank of freedom, drive the American road. And with a full tank of freedom, find your own highway. We'll take you wherever you go. Take you wherever you go.
Olay Total Effects, a skin transformation that rivals the leading department store moisturizer. Revives skin to fight 7 signs of aging. With Olay, you age less, so you can be ageless. Olay, ageless.
Quiet! Mom has a headache!
Had a headache, but now I don't. Excedrin is fast.
In fact, for some, relief starts in just 15 minutes. Excedrin, now available in gel tabs.
When the going gets tough, the tough keep pulling.
All new episodes of Highway Through Hell, Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Yeah!
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under fair skies. Today, sunny, high 75. Winds north-northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy early, followed by cloudy skies overnight. Low 64. Winds northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, cloudy skies early, followed by partial clearing. High 74. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
days a week. AMHQ is right here and weather ready.
Let me get you ready for the day weather-wise.
AMHQ, every morning starting at 5 on the Weather Channel.
I am never getting married.
Never.
Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
Pillow of the ear.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
One Crest 3D White Smile is all it takes to turn the tables. Crest 3D White toothpaste removes 5 times more stains than the red box. For a smile like that, Crest 3D White is the way to whiten.
There is a dangerous instinct that lives within you. You like chaos. And in these times, we need that. We need you to rush in when everyone else is running away. Introducing the Jeep Renegade, Dawn of Justice Special Edition.
Here we go. Yeah, we're here at the American Meteorological Society live. We've got students, faculty, fans of the show. Thank you all for coming out. We're here with Dr. Michael Freilich from NASA, and we're talking about the ways that NASA studies planet Earth. And what are some of the essential ways and unique ways that NASA studies the Earth that really no one else can do or shouldn't be doing, frankly?
That's a great question. NASA, uniquely among all the agencies, actually has the mandate to understand the Earth as an integrated system. So we use the vantage point of space to make measurements of many different quantities so that we not only understand how various land and ocean and atmosphere processes operate, but also the interactions between the processes.
Right.
But we don't only use satellite measurements.
Right.
So at NASA, it's the science question that drives us. If we have to use advanced instrumentation on aircraft, we do. We coordinate with other agencies.
Right.
We use in situ measurements. We fund researchers to bring together various data sets with science as the goal.
Now I want to get into, because we're weather folks here, there's always this big discussion about, the Euro model, the GFS model, who's better? Well, we're not going to get into that, but one thing people might not realize is that NASA is very much involved in advancing models, and many of the NASA data sets go into the weather forecast model. Speak to that a little bit.
That's correct. Obviously, to understand the atmosphere and to be able to predict it well, you have to be able to make measurements of many different dynamical as well as thermodynamical quantities.
Right.
And we're making all of those measurements from the combination of research satellites and operational satellites. By making all of that data available to the models and the assimilation systems, which we do through the near real-time data provision, we can improve our forecasts. On the research side,
right,
we at NASA can spend time focusing on understanding various meteorological processes, putting that understanding into our non-real-time models,
right,
if you will, and then transitioning them with NOAA into the operational models.
Let me give you guys that. So in any company, products that you use, they didn't come to market poof out of nowhere. There was research and development that got that iPhone to where it is, or that GPS system. NASA's really advancing our research capabilities in partnership with our operations as well. What are just some of the things that we know about the Earth that we wouldn't have known because of NASA? I know there was the ozone hole back in the day. We've got the sea level rise. Any other things that you would mention?
Certainly. Arctic sea ice is one of my favorites, if you will.
Yeah.
We can measure with satellites day and night, clear sky and clouds, the extent of the sea ice, but we can also measure the thickness of the sea ice.
Right.
And we know that in general, the extent of the sea ice is decreasing, but the thickness is also decreasing. Why is this important?
Right.
Because thick sea ice is modulated and controlled by ocean processes, whereas thin first-year ice is controlled by atmospheric processes.
And that is an example. We're going to talk about where the NASA Earth Sciences program is going after the break, and some of your perspective on some of that change of the Earth. That is next on Weather Geeks, here from the American Meteorological Society, live in New Orleans.
I've always been protective of my little sister. But when she got cancer, she was the strong one. She learned while she needed chemo. It could weaken my immune system. But then you found out about Neulasta. Right.
Neulasta helps reduce infection risk by boosting your white blood cell count, which strengthens your immune system. In a key study, Neulasta reduced the risk of infection from 17% to 1%, a 94% decrease.
Neulasta is for certain cancer patients receiving strong chemotherapy. Do not take Neulasta if you're allergic to Neulasta or Neupogen. Ruptured spleens, sometimes fatal, as well as serious lung problems, allergic reactions, kidney injuries, and capillary leak syndrome have occurred. Report abdominal or shoulder tip pain, trouble breathing, allergic reactions, puffiness in face or ankles, change in urine, swelling of stomach area, feeling of fullness, dizziness, or feeling faint to your doctor right away. In patients with sickle cell disorders, serious, sometimes fatal crises can occur. The most common side effect is bone and muscle ache.
Ellie's strong, but she still needs help. Yeah, I do.
Ask your doctor about Neulasta.
Looking for 24/7 digestive support? Try Align for a non-stop, sweet treat goodness. Hold on to your Tiara kind of day. Live 24/7 with 24/7 digestive support. Try Align, the undisputed #1 GE recommended probiotic.
Right here.
People search the world for happiness.
Excuse me.
Hello.
Do you need some help?
Yeah, sure. When all they may have to do,
come on, guys,
is walk across the street.
This is great, dude. Thank you.
Hey, you still at Walmart?
Find low prices every day on the things that inspire us to do some good. From lawn and garden tools to cleaning supplies for the home. Walmart.
It's amazing out there means to me everything is amazing. It could be the smallest ice crystal, the biggest storm cloud. It's just taking a second to appreciate all of it and the awe and awesomeness of it.
When you're on hold, your business is on hold. That's why Comcast Business doesn't leave you there. When you call, a small business expert will answer you in about 30 seconds. No annoying hold music. Just a real person, real fast, whenever you need them. So your business can get back to business. Sounds like my ride's ready.
Don't get stuck on hold. Reach an expert fast. Comcast Business, built for business.
No 2 allergy days feel the same. With Nasacort, even on your worst days, relief can be yours. Unlike antihistamines that target only one cause of your nasal allergy symptoms, Nasacort stops more to relieve your worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion. Nasacort.
New Selsun Blue Full and Thick Shampoo targets the source of dandruff and has hair strengthening proteins and vitamins to leave hair looking thicker and fuller. New Selsun Blue Full and Thick.
9. 7 days a week, AMHQ is right here and weather ready.
Let me get you ready for the day weather-wise.
AMHQ, every morning starting at 5 on the Weather Channel.
A little rain, a little shine, a little change over time. And the birds will sing, 'cause the weather will bring happiness to the hearts of the lonely. Will change our minds when the weather is fine.
Come on down to Weather Underground, weeknights at 6 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under fair skies. Today, sunny, high 75. Winds north-northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy this evening. Monday, cloudy early with partial sunshine in the afternoon. High 74. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And we are back at the American Meteorological Society meeting live here with Dr. Mike Freilich from NASA, and we're talking about the ways that NASA is contributing to our knowledge of the planet, climate, weather forecasting, and many other things, air chemistry, pollution, you name it. Now, what would you say in terms of those that say, show me proof that the Earth is changing? I mean, and I'm not necessarily just talking about climate, because I know you've got satellite systems looking at changes in deforestation, agriculture. What are some things that NASA can say when someone on the Hill says, show me that we're changing the planet, or how is it changing? Show me proof of that.
I'm going to go back to sea level rise because that's probably the most integrating quantity. We can argue about surface temperatures or mid-tropospheric temperatures. We can argue about processes associated with the fluxes of carbon between the atmosphere, where it's increasing, and the ocean and the land. But there is no argument at all about the fact that sea level is rising. And as I said, there are only two reasons why that can happen. You move water from the land to the ocean by melting ice, or you change the temperature of the water in the ocean. Both of those are happening. That integrates all of the Earth system and climate processes together, and it is the precision measurements that we're making from space that give us a handle on how sea level is changing regionally and globally.
Now, NASA's a data-driven agency. It has data. What would you say to people that treat science that you do at NASA or that I do at a university as opinion or belief system versus science? Do you have any thoughts on that?
The scientific approach is not only data-driven, but logic-driven, rigorous in terms of mathematics, and highly reviewed. We as scientists, when we think we understand something, we have to explain how it is that we reach that understanding. We have to give the data out that underlies the basis for our understanding, and then we let all of our colleagues and all of the public examine what it is that we did. We have to tell them enough so that they can, some independent investigators or a person can try to reproduce our results. So in that way, only the correct stuff exists in long term.
Okay, I'm going to break out my crystal ball now and hand it to you. So over the next 10 to 20 years, what's coming in the NASA Earth Sciences program that excites you or that really is needed for the nation?
We are getting extremely close to being able to measure sufficient number of quantities sufficiently well to create an entire Earth system model. This will allow us to not only do near-term predictions, but longer-term predictions, because the processes may interact differently under a different climate state in the future than they do now. We're getting very close to understanding enough about the individual processes and their interactions to be able to make long-term predictions of how our planet will evolve.
And so I think that's where we're going to have to leave it here at the show. But I think we see that Earth, our weather, our ocean processes, El Nino, polar vortex, they're all part of a connected system. And so we need that integrated vantage point from space. I want to thank you for joining me here.
Thanks very much,
And thank you again for joining us on Weather Geeks. You can find us every Sunday at noon on the Weather Channel and on Twitter and Facebook. See you next week.
Weekend in Plymouth
Olay brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. See car insurance in a whole new light.
You both have a perfect driving record.
Perfect.
No tickets, no accidents.
That is until one of you clips a food truck, ruining your perfect record.
Yeah.
Now, you would think your insurance company would cut you some slack, right?
No, your insurance rates go through the roof. Your perfect record doesn't get you anything.
Anything.
Perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Incredible bladder protection from Always Discreet that lets you move like you mean it. Now comes with an incredible promise. The Always Discreet Double Your Money Back Guarantee. Always Discreet is for bladder leaks, and it's drier than Poise. Try it. We're so confident you'll love it. We'll give you double your money back if you don't. Incredible bladder protection. Double your money back guarantee. That's Always Discreet.
You want to lose weight? Here's some things you should know. Lose up to 3 times more body fat in 1 month than dieting on your own. Weight loss of just 8% can help reduce your risk for heart disease.
Introducing the all-new Turbo 10. Lose up to 10 pounds in your first month and 5 inches overall. You'll love it. Money back guaranteed.
Did you know that losing weight on Nutrisystem can help you lower your blood pressure by 7 points in 1 month? Improve your sleep quality by 19% in 1 month.
Lose 7% of your body weight and lower your risk of diabetes by 58%. So you can have more energy, sleep better, and burn more belly fat.
Bust that gut.
My energy level is through the roof.
I sleep so much better.
My doctor is so happy.
Order your 28-day plan right now. With Turbo 10, you'll get delicious meals and 1 week of our all-new Turbo Shakes free. Packed with protein and probiotics to help support digestive health and bust belly bloat.
The shakes, so good.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Plus 1 week of our NutriCrush shakes to crush hunger free.
Forget about fad diets. It's important to have the right amount of carbs, fats, and proteins to fuel your body. And Nutrisystem has everything you need.
Yo-yo diet. Forget about it.
Lose weight fast, have more energy, and get healthy.
I absolutely feel sexier now than I did when I was in my 30s.
I gained energy, stamina, endurance.
Now I'm taking the stairs.
Call or click now, and we'll rush you Turbo 10 today with 14 free shakes. Lose up to 10 pounds in your first month and 5 inches overall. Money back guaranteed.
I owe my weight loss to Nutrisystem. 100%.
10 years later, and I'm feeling great.
Do what I did. Call Nutrisystem and start looking and feeling great today.
Pick up the phone and call Nutrisystem now.
Call 877-920-DIET right now and get the all-new Turbo 10 with 14 shakes free.
It's Amazing Out There means to me the wonder and the wow of weather.
Everything is amazing.
It means looking up and being inspired, even if it's just straight up blue skies. I mean, how beautiful is that? That little burst of red that happens when the sun comes right over the ocean.
Watching lightning streaking across the sky.
And the roll of the thunder, it's just one of the most amazing things.
Every single day is going to be something spectacular. It is truly amazing out there.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under fair skies. Today, sunny, high 75. Winds north-northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy this evening, then becoming cloudy after midnight. Low 64. Winds northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, cloudy early with partial sunshine in the afternoon. High 74. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
What makes me a weather geek? That's a great question.
I love the weather. That makes me a weather geek. I'll talk about the weather whether I'm at work or not.
Owning like 5 weather stations at my house, and then I name them. Who does that?
I have a weather station in the backyard so I can check the dew point, which is my favorite
weather piece of data.
I am a nerd. I'm nerdy and proud.
Can I go off about dew points?
I'm proud to be a weather geek. Join our exclusive community for fans. Be one of the thousands of weather geeks out there at WeLoveWeather.tv.
A little rain, a little shine, a little change all the time. When the weather is fine.
Come on down to Weather Underground, weeknights at 6 on the Weather Channel.
Imagine this is your hometown. 330 miles north of the Arctic Circle. It's a place where below and zero go hand in hand, and where one false step could be your last. Still, there are over 4,000 people that call this home. Why do they do it? How do they cope? Just imagine what it's like living on top of the world. I'm meteorologist Jim Cantore. I've made a career of being in the middle of storms, and I love it. But there's more to weather than storms. Some people live where they have to deal with harsh or unusual conditions on a daily basis. On Cantore Stories, we'll take you to these places. You'll meet the people that call them home, and we'll immerse you in their culture.
Welcome to Barrow, Alaska. I'm meteorologist Jim Cantore. It's called the top of the world, and for good reason. Barrow is the northernmost community in North America. Believe it or not, I am standing on the beach, and there is ice as far as the eye can see. So just imagine how harsh life can be.
Barrow is basically a desert that sits on the Arctic Ocean over 300 miles north of the Arctic Circle. There are no neighboring towns. And get this, it's closer to Siberia than the lower 48. It's so remote, you can't even get here by car. So you get the picture. Icy Arctic Ocean, miles and miles of frozen tundra. Barrow is brutally cold. In fact, the average annual temperature is 10.4 degrees. And for about 4 straight months, basically December through March, the daily highs are below zero. That's when you better have your car plugged in, or it will literally freeze. Imagine seeing snow in July. Not out of the question, since snow is possible any month of the year in Barrow.
About 4,500 people call this place home. 60% are Inupiat Eskimos, who are the natives here. Regardless of where you're from, though, if you don't learn to adapt to the weather, you won't make it here.
You can stop the tune, but don't stop the beat. It's showtime.
Pat Manning is a third-generation lineman and has worked on and off in Barrow since 1979. Denny Franz is a construction worker who's lived his whole life in Barrow.
And a hearty good morning. Welcome to Barrow, Alaska, at the top of the world. We're at 17 degrees below zero this morning. Some light snow. We have a wind chill this morning at 34 below. Good morning across the Great North Slope.
It's showtime.
Working up here is, it can be pretty dangerous if you don't dress right. And our job is to maintain power to the whole village.
Well, today at work we're slurring some pilings. First we're making a pad for the new hospital that's going in here in Barrow. It's not too cold. I don't know how much it is today, 20 below.
Below. Not uncommon on winter days in Barrow, when life can be one long, cold, lonely road. Isolation? You bet. Satellites become your best friend and are the only things that keep you connected to the rest of the world.